Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chaos TV's live coverage of the Corsair Vengeance Cup. And we are live in the first matchup here between Moscow5 and Against All Authority, NZ. Really looking forward to this game. You know, we're really in the crunch time now where all the games really matter. And that $10,000 really is just a couple steps away for both teams. And just before I pass it over, I need to explain a couple things for you guys. Currently, it's me and Bass. Bass is our streamer in the actual game, and NZ is watching this stream. So he has a slight delay alongside you guys. So if I quickly jump in some of the action, that's why. And if NZ sometimes talks a bit over some of the team fights and such, that is also why. But yeah, NZ, straight over to you, dude. How are you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling really good. I mean, both lineups are very good. Each team has their positives and negatives. And, you know, it's just how they really execute their champions, how they execute in them team fights, and just see how it goes. You'll kind of get an idea after that first team fight of how things are going to go and how they can try and adjust. But it looks like Against Authority, you know, just harassing both sides of that jungle. And I don't think there's going to be any fights whatsoever.
Well, I was a bit nervous there for Genja on Misfortune as the entirety of Against All Authority started to just chug along towards him, but he managed to pull himself back and he won't be in harm's way. You're now going to see this jungle invade coming about from Against All Authority, taking these wolves down with complete ease. CV has been used there, so they know exactly what's going on, and Against All Authority are going to pull back. In the meantime, though, looks like we could potentially see a blue steal on the cards here from Moscow5 as they are pulling down. They realise that Against All Authority more than likely picking up their blue, so they're going to try and reply back in kind. But Jarvan is on the case. He stood right here next to Mundo. Could probably harass him down here quite a bit, push him away from this blue buff. Mundo doesn't know whether to stay or to go, but here comes Vladimir alongside a few more teammates here, as we're going to see Mundo very heavily hurt here. And we're going to have Ari coming in first, picking up that kill. Back onto Jarvan. He's going to go down from Warwick, as Darren will flash on just to secure the kill. So that is going to be a 1-for-1 exchange with AMT on Ari picking up that first blood. So that's not going to look too good from the eyes of that Vladimir from Alex in mid. But either way, NZ, very quick fire action right at the beginning.
Yeah, Ari with that first one. I think Diamond, you know, he should have just backed off straight away. He obviously was waiting for that backup to come. They did get a kill on towards Jarvan, but obviously an Ari with first blood, an extra 400 gold to go along is the last thing you want to do. That's going to give her the advantage in lane, and she's going to be able to push that lane even easier now and harass, and then go to other lanes as well to help out. So that's not just helping her lane, it's actually helping the others as well. That's the good thing.
Oh my god, sorry, I just let that breathe of relief come out there as Cogmore just manages to escape at bot lane. Misfortune also looked like she could be going down, but she too survived. So a lot of action at the bot lane as well, but nobody is going to fall as of yet, although Janna will land a nice Howling Gale onto Misfortune. Cogmore slightly too far away to capitalise on that one while Nunu was going up toward there in the tri-bush. So nice ward coverage from both teams at bot lane. Cogmore is going to be returning some fire. Zephyr has been landed there from Janna. Will they be pushing the Nunu? Deciding against it, as there are a multitude of creeps that would have completely destroyed Cogmore, especially at this early level. You have to be very wary of the minions doing their damage as well. So they will pull back once again. Cogmore eats himself some Misfortune bullets but refuses to go down. Also has the Eye of the Storm from Janna, so he should be just fine for now, and you're going to have that Misfortune recalling. But at top lane in the meantime, Warwick is coming under very heavy attack, very nearly actually getting dredgelined from Nautilus, but he will be finished off from Jarvan finally. That's going to be the 2-for-1 coming up from Against All Authority, and they are looking pretty good. Nice start from them here, NZ.
Yep, another kill on the board for Against All Authority. Really, really nice stuff right now. They're starting to pull ahead just a little bit. I mean, only one kill in it, but they did get that first blood. And like I said, Ari, she's going to be able to, you know, harass that lane a bit more. You know, when she gets back, gets that extra item, she's going to have the gold difference as well. That's going to help every single lane, because as we both know, Vince, Ari is one of them champions who can just dash straight in at level 6 and try and pick up a kill and really harass that top lane and bot lane, and maybe even go for some counter jungling as well for Against All Authority.
Absolutely. She's one of those kind of characters that as soon as she's missing from mid, she could be right underneath you at any second. We're actually going to have Vladimir trying to steal those wraiths there, but Ari was applying the pressure just enough to push him back. She also has the advantage as well in mid on XP. She's currently level 5. Vladimir has just got himself to level 5 as well, so she is about half or so, a quarter in fact, XP bar ahead of Vladimir, so she is looking very strong right now in mid. In the meantime though, Warwick level 4 at top lane. Going to have Soaz with the Jarvan on level 3. Let's have a look at some creep scores. In fact, hold that thought for a second, because here comes Nautilus once again. Nice sanguine pull use, though, from Vladimir. May just have saved his life there, and he will pull back to his tower. So this will give us a bit of a chance, Enzi, to have a quick look at the creep score. At bot lane, have Cogmore on 22, Misfortune on 27. At top lane, it's going to be Jarvan 22 and Warwick on 24. And in mid, Aries managed to pull herself 35 creep score in the back pocket, whereas Vladimir at 31. So very, very even overall. 600 gold in it, but remember that Against the Authority did manage to pick up the first blood and do have a kill advantage as well. But here comes Misfortune onto Cogmore. She has to be careful though, because there are two players coming down. It's going to be Janet and Nautilus. Nautilus just hiding out in that bush. And we are also going to see in mid here that Vladimir's going to go down from Ari. Ari using the ultimate and the ignite as well. That, in a nutshell, is why getting first blood on Ari is so important. She had the XP over Vladimir. As soon as she hit level 6, she just darted right underneath Vladimir on that tower and picked herself up the kill. Such good work. And now she's going to go back to spawn, Enzi, and pick herself up some nice items. She's got the Sorcerer Shoes, 2 Doran's Rings, and a couple Sight Wards with some health pots as well. Very, very strong start.
Yeah, and Ari on 2 kills now, not gonna be good stuff. I don't actually think Alex had his has his level 6, not completely sure, hasn't seen that. But yeah, that's exactly the thing you want to do with Ari. As soon as you hit that level 6 and you got the opportunity to just ultimate in, you can kind of ultimate under the tower for a couple seconds and just ultimate back out. That's the beauty of Ari. And if she lands that charm, it's basically probably a guaranteed kill really if you can land everything at level 6. So really nice stuff coming out from Ari. Has got the first blood now and a kill on top of that. Has gone back, got the social shoes and the double Dorans. She is going to get deadly and deadlier as this game progresses.
Indeed, and just answering the question you said before, Alex did not hit sick when he recalled. Well, in fact, he didn't recall, he got killed, so when he went back to spawn that way, he wasn't level 6. He has just managed to get himself to 6 in the meantime. Now, picked up the Hextech Revolver. Going to be some more action at bot lane as Nunu will go down there. Misfortune, very, very low on health as well. She has to be careful. Nautilus has been lurking around that bot lane time and time again. Mundo hasn't really been overly active so far in this game, to be fair, and he's kind of just been plodding along, picking up the farm, picking up the XP, and of course, once he hits 6, he's going to be a much bigger threat in that ganking phase, because of course of his sadism gives him such great movement speed and health regen as well. Looks like he could potentially be setting himself up for a gank at bot lane here, as he's going to be hiding in the tower bush with both Janna and Cogmore. Very aggressive. Cogmore was thinking for a second there, do I try and pick up the kill onto Misfortune, or do I not bother, and decides not to in the end. In the meantime, Warwick is going to go down at top lane. Sara's very, very low health as well, with Ignite ticking down. But again, let's have a quick switch over to bot lane as Misfortune on dangerously low health, but she does have the cavalry coming in the form of Nunu and also Dr. Mundo, and she will be just fine, managing to recall. So just a plethora of action all over the map, Enzi. 5-1 though to Against Authority.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Moscow5 at the moment, but you know, Moscow5, one of them teams, you know, they can start communicating and they can try and get back into this game. The only thing that I saw right there, though, Nunu did go down and Cogmore got the kill. And Cogmore, as probably everybody knows, late game, an absolute tank destroyer. So I am probably going to hope the best for M5 right now, because they're not looking all that strong. But you know, I'm not going to count them out yet. M5 are a great, great team, and it's only 5 kills to 1, so anything's possible. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the early game has looked very, very strong against Authority's hands, but you have to say, NZ, League of Legends is one of those kind of games that it's not over until it's over. You know, you have the Dragons coming up, the Baron coming up, of course, in about 5 or 6 minutes, so you have to say that Against Authority, although they are currently ahead, could definitely still fall behind. And of course, Moscow5 are just synonymous with how strong they are, especially with their teamwork, so kind of mid to late game, would definitely expect them to come back with a vengeance here in this matchup. But right now, Against Authority looking good. Back to the farming phase once again, as Cogmore has managed to pick himself up 61 creep score and Misfortune on 60, so MF doing a nice job there of keeping herself in contention at top lane. Warwick now has 52 to Jarvan 60, still relatively close. And in mid lane, I thought for a second we're going to see some action there, as Ari is just pondering whether to jump on top of that Vladimir or not, as he is trying to recall, but she'd definitely be wise not to do so, as there are another 4 players, another 3, beg my pardon, just around this corner. It's going to be Dr. Mundo, Nunu, and also Misfortune as they're going to push down towards this bot lane and mid, respectively. But Mundo has just been spotted from a ward, so Cogmore knows exactly what to expect, and he's just going to pull himself back, so he should be just fine.
No, against Authority, could have probably actually pushed towards that dragon, actually. I mean, they saw Vladimir going back, they had Ari there, they had Nautilus at the bot lane as well, then they had Kog'Maw and Janna. So they definitely could have probably actually got that dragon, but you know, they decided not to, they did the safe route, and they just chugged along in their lanes and got some CS.
Indeed, and in mid actually, NZ, not very, very close once again. Vladimir 77, Ari on 85. She's probably going to go up to about 88 after this creep wave. Indeed, she will. So she's about, 11 ahead of Vladimir, but still very, very close. 11 minutes through the game. And remember that she does have 2 kills, so she definitely has the gold advantage in mid as it stands. But either way, top lane Darian is going to go ahead and recall, allowing Jarvan to get some free creep score. Here comes Nautilus though. Having said that, CV used very, very well from Nunu and spotting himself for Nautilus. And of course, Nautilus will just pull back. Does not want to try and gank when his position is known. He's basically just wasting his time, Ezzy, and that's the reason he's going to go back. And it's going to allow Kog'Maw and Janna to just push this lane once again.
Yep, we have actually seen recently, Misfortune pushing that lane. She did use her ultimate not long ago just on the minions to push it. Obviously isn't liking the idea of constantly getting pushed back. Kog'Maw has got the range on his side. But, Yellow Star and Enraid are doing a very, very good job at that bot lane at the moment, pushing it as well, getting some tower damage in, and just going along with the flow. Obviously, Kog'Maw has got that 1 kill advantage now, so he's definitely going to be stronger in lane.
Indeed. Let's have a quick look at some of these items then, because we have a bit of a slower lull in the pace right now. You're going to have Jarvan at top lane picking up the Brutalizer, Cloth Armor and Ruby Crystal. Having said the top lane though, Warwick has to be so careful because Nautilus has been so patient in that bush for the last 20 or 30 seconds at least, and here we go. We're going to have the gank coming in. Jarvan using his ultimate. Cataclysm has been popped there. Surely Warwick's going to go down. He's trying to use the Infinite Duress to escape, but it's not going to happen. And Mundo pulling in too little too late from him, even popping the Sadism, really trying his best to get in contention with stopping that kill from going down, or at least responding with a kill of his own, but not to be here. So 6-1 will be the score, and Jarvan will go back and buy up the Heart of Gold. 3 for 1 right now, looking very, very strong at top. And you're also going to have Ari picking up the Negatron Cloak and the Blasting one, so more than likely towards the Abyssal Scepter from that viewpoint. Here comes Nautilus once again, trying to push himself onto the Vladimir. He did use the Depth Charge before, though, for the kill onto Warwick, so Vladimir should be just fine pulling himself back towards his lane, and indeed he will be just fine there. He has brought himself up the Will of the Ancients, though, so going to be doing a nice amount of damage, also a Spell Vamp on top of that. And in the meantime, you're going to have Misfortune with 3 Doran's Blades and Berserker's Greaves, and Kog'Maw with 2 Doran's Blades and Berserker's Greaves. But I have a feeling he's got a fair chunk of change in his back pocket. Indeed he does. He has 1,500 gold just coming up here, as blue has been taken from against all authority.
I tell you what, Vince, if Nautilus keeps up, what he's doing right now, being so active in the ganking process and all that good stuff, and if they do, against all authority, do run away with this game, I will probably expect a Shyvana pick next game. Can't remember which game it actually was when we casted on Moscow5, but to adjust to that, that Nautilus pick, who was really dominating that jungle, really getting them ganks in and just being a pain for Moscow5. The next game, they banned that. No, they actually kept Nautilus in. They picked Nautilus again. They got Shyvana. They completely counter-jungled and completely dominated, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it was against Team Red by Italy, from what I remember, so they really, really counted hard, as you say, Shyvana. I was a bit confused, a bit surprised not to see Shyvana, but of course Dr. Mundo is an exquisite jungler in his own right, and you can never count Diamond out. He's a great, great player, and he's definitely, with Mundo, going to be more and more of a factor as this game chugs along, because remember, Dr. Mundo hasn't really been overly active so far, so he has just been getting himself up some nice creep farm. You can see that he's on 79, nearly 80 creep score, and Nautilus on 38, but of course Nautilus has the 2 gold per 10 items of the Philo Stone and the Heart of Gold, and he also has 3 assists. He's been very, very active, so in that sense Nautilus has really done his job. But Mundo has now picked up the Ninja Tabi boots, he has the Giant Spell and the Heart of Gold himself, so he's going to be very, very tanky, and it looks like we are going to have a Dragon attempt here from Moscow5. They timed this one to perfection in the sense that Kog'Maw and Janna weren't at the lane, but what they don't know is that suddenly that bot lane for against the authority starting to push up here. Ari going to be applying the pressure from the top as well, but they have managed to pick up that Dragon in amongst all of the action there, and they will pull themselves back as well. Nice play from Moscow5.
Yeah, great time. I think Moscow5, they kind of realised, look guys, we're falling behind a little bit, you know, in the laner stage. They're doing very, very well. They're really applying pressure. We need to get that dragon. We need to just get a bit more gold, you know, to just carry on, keep chugging along, keep behind. And then when we want to go in, when we want to take our opportunity and go in towards that mid game really, really strong, we can. So they picked up that dragon at the perfect time, perfect timing, with, you know, Kog'Maw and Janna going back that bot lane for against all authority. So really nice stuff from Moscow5. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and that is going to be a downed tower there from against the authority, so they're going to push slightly ahead once again in goal difference. You're going to see 20.9k coming in for against the authority, 18.7 for Moscow5, and that top tower is about half HP. Mid tower is getting towards half HP as well from Moscow5, so against the authority trying to push all lanes right about now, and of course this tower being down at bot is going to allow Nautilus to be even more active around that area. Misfortune and Nunu have to be very careful they don't overextend and basically put themselves in a very precarious position. Either way, that mid tower will be going down here as Cogwall has joined the fight, and here comes Nautilus. Did manage to land the use, but nice sanguine pool there, stopping himself from getting caught with the dredge line, and of course Nautilus will not be pulled towards his target there, so he's just going to pull himself back, and in amongst all of that, the top lane is just going to continue on. Jarvan level 11, Warwick on 10, and Warwick could be finding himself getting ganked from a 4-strong team right about now. Here comes Nautilus. He doesn't seem to be too interested in landing the dredge line, maybe realising that the rest of his team were slightly behind. Looks like they're just going to push this top tower instead, and that's going to allow Mundo and also Nunu to push themselves towards that top. So it's a 4v3 right now under this tower. Are they going to try and contest it? Moscow5, the answer is no, but here comes Cataclysm from Jarvan onto Nunu. Not too sure about that decision there, as Nunu's going to pop his absolute zero instantly. Nice ultimate though from Janna, managing to basically keep Jarvan up throughout that. And now Janna's on very, very low health. The heal has been popped though. Mundo with his ultimate looking good here, but here comes the depth charge from Nautilus. What about that for an ultimate? Knocks Mundo in the air, will finish him off, and big damage being done as well. In the meantime, in mid lane actually, you're going to see some confrontation between Ari and Vladimir. Ari will get the upper hand onto Vladimir, but took a lot of damage for her trouble. So that is going to be 8-1 now, NZ. Incredible stuff from against the authority.
No, I think that initial Olmo from Soaz, I think he kind of, you know, timed that a bit wrong, because he was still on the tower. I think he probably thought, okay, I'm out of tower range, so I'm going to go in. But Janna, what a great job she did just to keep him up. And then Ari as well getting a kill. You know, against all of Fire, you can tell right there, they have communication going. They wanted every single tower down. They first started with bot, they pushed towards mid, they pushed towards top. It was like a cycle. They had the advantage as well at top lane to fight. Jarvan went in on a very close encounter indeed. You know, he just got away with just a little bit of HP, but Janna too strong.
Yeah, that was all about Monsoon coming to Jarvan's rescue right there, and I agree, I think he slightly mistimed it, but you have to say, at the end of the day, they managed to get 2 kills out of that, one at top, one at mid. They didn't lose anybody, so in that sense it was a glorious success there, and they did manage to pick up the top tower as well. So against the authority, even when they make slight lapses in judgment, they still managed to pick it up, and that's the important thing. And right there is exactly what you want from N-rated in that Janna role. Now she's also actually going to be trying to pop off the Howling Gale onto Misfortune. Nice dredge line used from Nautilus, but he is going to pull back, realising he's a tiny bit too overextended. But here comes Mundo popping down that ward. There are, however, 4, make that 5 players starting to verge in on his area, so he is going to pull himself back, and he'll be just fine as well. But important to note, Enzi, that yeah, the scoreline's 8-1, but there's only about a 4k goal difference in this, so again Moscow5 can definitely come back into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what everyone needs to know. You know, they can have a huge kill difference, but as long as that gold is relatively even, and you know they're doing okayish in fights. You know, the fights we've kind of seen right now have kind of been one man up for against them.
Sorry, there's going to be team fight at this bot lane, and it's going to be Kog'Maw picking up the kill on Nunu. Apologies for jumping in there, NZ, but there was a lot of action there. I thought for a second we could be having some more kills on the card, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The Hemo Plague has been used there from Vladimir, and he will sanguine pool out there as Jarvan darts towards him. But there's not going to be any more kills. Having said that though, NZ, another kill, another tower down. We're saying, you know, Moscow5 aren't out this game yet, but if they don't start to bridge some of these gaps, if they keep allowing against the authority to pick up towers, to pick up kills here, there and everywhere, they will play themselves out of contention here.
I think against All Authority are just doing a great thing. As you saw in that team fight, Warwick was top lane. They're pushing that lane so far back. Every single lane, they've got complete map control. They can push that top lane back, and Warwick is forced to farm because he doesn't want to lose any of his farm. Otherwise, he's got to fall very, very behind. And you know, it's just a case of positioning right now. Against All Authority are causing Moscow5 to just be out of position by pushing them lanes back, like you saw at top lane. That didn't allow Warwick to come down there, and they were the men down. They can't contest that tower, and against All Authority with yet another tower, and you know that gold advantage is going higher and higher and higher, and you know soon we're gonna see a Baron.
Yeah, it's now about 5k. 5k on the dot, in fact, for against All Authority. They are 4 towers to 1 ahead. I think it's 1-1 on Dragons, Enzi. I'm pretty sure Moscow5 picked up the second one, and against Authority picked up the first. Not entirely sure there, but it's been quite even on that front. But everywhere else against Authority have definitely been ahead. And of course, the fact that you are going to have 2 towers down at that bot lane is basically just going to allow against Authority to get a lot of map control there in Moscow5's jungle on this right-hand side. It's going to be very difficult for Moscow5 to go in there completely comfortable in the knowledge that they're going to be safe. Sure, Mundo has put down a ward, but even still, once that ward is down, they're going to have absolutely no visibility and no towers to fall back on if they get caught out of position. So again, against the Authority are looking very, very strong. And that is going to be them starting to pull back towards mid. Have just seen a ping there on Baron, so perhaps they're going to be edging towards this Baron. Maybe just saying, look, can you ward the Baron, please, Janna? And she is around the area with an Oracle. In fact, maybe trying to just clear out the ward coverage, but there's absolutely no wards whatsoever in for Moscow5. So, again, NZ, looking like against the Authority, definitely have the upper hand here, but game is well and truly still on.
Yeah, indeed, you know, against All Authority are just doing everything right now. You know, they're pushing the lanes back, they're forcing Moscow5 to fall behind, especially with them towers as well. You know, it's 4-1 towers, and Janet has got that early Oracle because she's allowed to get it, because, you know, they're in front, they can completely control the whole of the map, all of the wards, all of the vision, and, you know, Moscow5 are without vision right now. I don't think they've actually got a single, they've got 1 ward in Tri-Bush, I just saw there, so, you know, Janet goes into that bush, it is all gone.
Absolutely, Mundo is trying his best to ward himself some, you know, some vision. But at the moment, as soon as those wards go down, Janna's just there with the Oracle to pick them up, and that's pretty much just been just rinsed and repeated throughout this game. Now, Janna's going to go into this ward as well. Going to pick up another ward, so that will leave just the 1 ward in Tri-Bush, as Enzi said before. So all of that warding that Mundo had just done previously has been completely counted from that Janna with the Oracle, and she's under absolutely no threat right now. She's on 003, and they're actually going to start off this Baron. They realise there's going to be no ward coverage whatsoever, and you have a quick look on Moscow5. Just Mundo is starting to push in with Warwick as well. Depth charge is going to be used alongside that Zephyr as well. Big ultimate coming in from the Jarvan, the Cataclysm raining down. Infinite Duress has been used, but he's going to go down regardless. Here comes Dr. Mundo, but I think he realises he has absolutely no hope whatsoever of 1v5ing this against All Authority team, who are now 10-1 up. They did start the Baron again for a couple seconds. Big damage coming in from Ari. She did indeed pick up the Abyssal Scepter first, and the Cage's lucky pick, so perhaps a Deathfire Grasp in the making here. Either way, Will of the Ancients has also been added to her arsenal in her items there. But either way, there is so much damage right now. Just raw damage for against the Authority. Ari's damage coming in. Jarvan's as well. Then you have the tankiness of Nautilus. And then if you manage to subside all of that, you've got a Cogmore with Phantom Dancer and Pickaxe this early on. Here we go with another team fight kicking off. As you are going to have the Hemo Plague and the Bullet Time from Misfortune doing nicely there for their team. Nunu's popping his ultimate as well. Big damage onto Nautilus, but they have managed to just completely subside through all of the ultimates now. And now it's going to be the Hunters becoming the Hunted, as Jarvan will pick up the kill onto Mundo. And you have to say, Andy, that was 2 or 3 ultimates being burst out there from Moscow5. And against the Authority, like, okay, we'll just weather the storm. As soon as these ultimates are off, we're just going to completely destroy Mundo. It's exactly what they did.
I'm not really sure what Moscow5 were doing. They really don't want to get All Authority with that Baron buff. I can see why, but they're losing kills. You know, they're losing advantage because of that. You know, they had no ward coverage. Darian started off, he got caught. Although against All Authority got that kill, they burnt a couple ultimates that probably wasn't needed. The Jarvan ultimate I don't think was really needed. I reckon they could have picked that up despite that. But, you know, really well played from against All Authority. Wait for them ultimates to burn. But, you know, it was 4v5 again. Moscow5 went in and they were able to get yet another kill. Okay, there's an aeroplane going on the back.
He's alluding to Bass's microphone. But yeah, I mean, as you say, you can definitely see why Moscow5 desperately don't want Against the Authority to pick up the Baron. Because, you know, Against the Authority, currently about 7k ahead or so on the goal difference. So they're looking good there. A lot of their characters are farmed up. The likes of Jarvan's on 5-1-2, has a Randuin's Omen. Beautiful item for Jarvan, actually. Cataclysm, Randuin's Omen. But very, very difficult for the opposition to manage to escape that one. Then you also have Kog'Maw 3-0-2, has Berserker's Greaves, Phantom Dancer, Pickaxe with a couple Doran's Blades as well. And then on top of that, just to throw an extra misery right now for Moscow5, Ari with the Abyssal Scepter, Cage's Lucky Pick, Sorcerer's Shoes, 2 Doran's Rings, and a Will of the Ancients to boot. So much raw damage right now for Against the Authority. And if you switch over to the opposite team, really you're just looking at Will of the Ancients and Infinity Edge for Moscow5. That's really the only offensive items that they currently have. Sure, you've got Warwick with Wit's End and Glacial Shroud, but really that's more tanky, so to speak, than all-out damage. So there's a big, big discrepancy right now in raw damage from these two teams.
To be honest, I just think Against All Authority did such a good job in the picks. I mean, if you look at it right, they're playing this completely right. You've got Janna with that Oracle clearing the wards. If one of Moscow5 get in even in range of that Dread line and Nautilus hits it, that's going to be a dead player. You know, they've got the likes of Ari to dive straight in there, got the charm off, you've got the Ooze to go down from Kog'Maw, you've got Nautilus as well with his ultimate at his disposal on top of that, and then you have Janna, then you have Jarvan. Every single player can just stop Moscow5 in their tracks, so they could just catch him up. They've got a brilliant team comp, you know, with that poke composition, and you know, it's working really well. You saw that under the Baron buff right there. They got 2 kills because of that.
It's going to be Baron again, NZ here, as CV has came down from Nunu, so they know exactly what's going on. I mean, it's just down to the fact that Warwick's out of position right now. He's not close enough. You're going to have bullet time being popped there. Mundo taking the brunt of the damage. Sadism has also been used from him. So he's going to go back in again. In amongst all this, though, Baron on dangerous low health of both teams. Here comes Kog'Maw with the kill onto Mundo. Big, big ultimates coming in. Cataclysm, Monsoon, and Nunu as well. Explosive damage from Against the Authority. He picked up 2. You're going to have Warwick coming back with a kill onto Janna, but he's now surrounded by enemy team players, and he's also going to go down. Here comes Vladimir, and that will be the double kill for Nautilus right at the end, and the ace as well. So wowzers, again, Against the Authority, managing to pull it out when it really counts. That's going to be 5 players for 1. They're definitely going to be happy with that exchange. 16 for 2 overall, now just going to try and push this mid.
Well, I think, you know, Moscow5 actually did quite a bit of damage. I mean, you see Nautilus on like no HP, and you know, they're relatively low. They've got to obviously heal up, but really, really nice stuff. A 1 for 5 exchange right there. I don't want to say this, but I don't really see any coming back from Moscow5 right now, unless they just pull off something absolutely incredible and are able to get a Baron steal or something. I mean, Against All Authority in them team fights are just way too strong, can shut down any single champion they choose to with their comp. So I really don't think there's any coming back from this. That's my personal opinion, guys. You know, if Moscow5 do come back from it, then I am completely wrong. But, you know, you got Kog'Maw on 4-0-6, you've got Ari as well, 4-0-5, and then you've got Jarvan on 6 kills. And, you know, it's going later and later, and Kog'Maw's going to get stronger and stronger, so
I think we're going to see a desperation Baron attempt here from Moscow5. In fact, they're not bothering with it, and Mundo's going to get caught out. He has popped the sadism, but again, the Randuin's Omen, you can see exactly why it was taken there from Jarvan. Cataclysm coming in as well. Mundo's going to go down without any issues whatsoever. Ari using her ultimate. Oh my god, that damage onto Nunu, sorry, as Kog'Maw will pick up the kill after all, but still, Ari's damage is absolutely ridiculous. And again, the maneuverability from her, second to none. And as you said before, you know, you said Moscow5 are doing a fair amount of damage. They got Nautilus down to low health. The thing is, though, after that team fight, both Kog'Maw and Ari were on full HP. So you have to say, yeah, even if Nautilus did go down, the danger people are still up, and they really have to take down the likes of an Ari and Kog'Maw quickly. So great positioning from the likes of Kog'Maw in particular, can just pop off as many abilities and as many shots as he possibly can, and that is, in amongst all that talking in action, going to be a simple Baron as well for Against All Authority. And I like to be an optimist, Enzi, but I'm finding it very difficult to see how Moscow5 can bounce back from this one.
yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, exactly what I said. If that Dredge line or something lands from, you know, from either Jarvan or Janna, and it did, you know, Jarvan went in first, then Janna popped the Howling Gale and the Zephyr as well to pop the slow off. So there's literally no escaping. Then you've got the Omen as well. So I mean, one player goes in, you know, gets caught out of position, that's going to be dead. He's going to be dead whatever happens. He won't be able to escape unless he does that absolutely great flash over the wall. So really nice stuff coming out from Against All Authority. Really nice team composition. Really liking this as well. Moscow5, they're going to try and farm back up, not completely sure they're going to be able to get back into this. Against All Authority, just looking way too strong, going to be able to push them lanes now, try and get him down, and then pressure another lane.
Indeed. I kind of feel a bit sorry for Genja here, Enzi. I've got to be honest. I mean, he's on 0-1-1, so he's only died the one time after 30 minutes, and when his team are 18-2 behind, that's not bad whatsoever. He's got 212 creep score to Cogmore's 204, but he's still so far behind, because Cogmore has the 5 kills and the 6 assists, so, Cogmore and Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer as well, just going to be cutting through everybody. Another big ultimate coming in from Cataclysm there from Jarvan, but Vladimir will manage to escape using the Sanguine Pool, and I believe he also burnt his flash. Indeed, he did. Pretty much full cooldown still remaining. So Vladimir being forced to pop a couple of abilities just to escape, and that's going to be the bottom tower there, the bottom inhib tower falling, and that will leave that inhibitor very much vulnerable. Warwick's going to be coming back in again, but Hourglass has been popped there from Ari, and now we're going to see some big damage coming in from Pogmore. Nunu's popping off absolute zero, but I don't think it's going to be doing anything whatsoever. Second kill coming in from Jarvan. Here comes Ari with maneuverability once again with a double kill. Can she pick up the triple onto Mundo? The answer is a no, as Cogmore will pick that one up, and that's going to be a Team Ace 5-for-nothing exchange. Massive game from against Authority, and they are looking super strong here, and the surrender has came in. 1-0 to against Authority.
Well, to be honest, I just think, Moscow5 really just failed at the picking stage. I mean, look at the team comp from against All Authority and what they can do with it. I think a major part as well, the Cogmore pick was really good, but Misfortune to counter that, not completely sure. Like I said, Nunu, it's good in the laning stage depending on who he's with. Later game he kind of falls off because, he can just spam an ice ball and he's got the ultimate as well, but apart from that, what can he really do? So, I think they really did lose on picks in that fight. I mean, Cogmore can really he's got the range on his side, if you're going up against a Cogmore, you want an AD carry who can really trade with him. Maybe the likes of a Caitlyn, I don't know, but really I think Moscow5 actually lost that in the picking stage.
But, I mean, you got to say, Enzi, again on the picks, though, that against the Authority, wow, that Jarvan pick. Just wow. Because you think about it, you've got the likes of an Ari, so even if Cataclysm is used, Ari can dart through it, no problems whatsoever, and maneuverability is going to be just fine. Cogmore can stand behind the Cataclysm and just completely nuke down everybody at safe distance. It's such a good combination, and it's exactly what we saw in that. Every single time there's a team fight, sure, Nautilus might go down, sure, he might be on dangerously low health, but then you've just got Cogmore and Ari running around with 100% HP, having a chuckle to themselves, destroying everybody. So, beautiful team comp there from against All Authority, and I think Moscow5 may go back to basics here with Diamond Procs. I'm assuming he's probably going to go back to that Shyvana pick if it isn't banned out, because I think Shyvana could have actually really helped them out in that team fight.
I think what I want from this game on Moscow5's team, I want a Galio pick and also a Shyvana pick. That will work really well. Obviously, Diamond Procs is great on that Shyvana, and also the Galio as well to come in with that taunt. But I think we're actually going to go for a break now, Vince, I think.
I believe so. We have 9 of the players right now in the lobby, but of course, as soon as we go into the champion picks and bans, we'll come right back live once again. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to cut to a very quick commercial break, and soon we'll be live for game number 2 between Against All Authority and Moscow5 in the Corsair Vengeance Cup. See you soon.